And moving, and we're going to do a short open hand flow. We are going to have the body weight over the hands a lot in this session. You can take breaks as necessary, but if you can do a basic side plank, then this should be an all right flow for you. We're going to start in quadruped with wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, and knees as wide apart as the hands. I'm going to start just with the spine flexor, engaging with the floor, dropping the stomach toward the floor, and arching the back, tucking my head under. Inhale and shift the weight slightly forward. Exhale and shift the weight slightly back. Gradually getting used to having your weight loaded over the hands and wrists. This flow is designed to be done once as a good warm-up or multiple times for a complete workout. From here, we're going to a modified side plank. So I'm going to take one leg and place it back so that my whole side is in a line, from the wrist to the knee to the foot to the ankle. If I need a little bit more balance, I can take this leg and just rotate it back. Let me show that from the front. So from here, I'm going to step back into a line and then moving my foot back for balance. I'm going to do a modified side plank. I'm going to engage away from the floor. The other arm just reaches up, and I'm trying to lift my rib cage toward the ceiling as high as I can. If you want, you can reach overhead to elongate your side. Whatever we're doing, we're just going to engage with the floor, being very intentional about pressing into the floor and lifting away from the floor. Before we switch to the other side, I'm going to bring my hand down, come back to the center, and then come up into an A-frame. So tucking the toes, pushing back away from the floor. Taking some time here to, again, engage away from the floor. I'll start with the knees bent, and then push back through the hands, push up into the hips. My goal is not to get the heels down, but to lift the tailbone up. And we're going to do the modified side plank on the other side. So bringing the other knee down, elongating my body into a line. Again, in one line, from wrist to knee to the back foot. Extending up and over, and press away from the floor. Lift the rib cage away from the floor. So you're stretching the whole side, but also getting the weight over the hand and the side of your body used to taking that load. Coming back to our quadruped position, and then back to A-frame. We're going to do knee tucks in this A-frame. Our easiest variation is just to move the foot forward a little bit. If you want a harder version, I'm going to extend one leg up and pull my knee toward my elbow. We're going to do that 5 times, so let me switch sides. As I come forward, tucking the hips under. After this move, I have a little bit of a harder variation. I'm going to come to a floating side plank. Extend the leg back, pressing away from the floor. and rotating back down. Switching legs, 5 repetitions on the knee tuck. Setting this leg up and rotating to a floating side plank. Balance can be a little tricky. Coming back to the center, back to our A-frame, and hang out here for a little bit. From the A-frame, we're just going to go right to the floor, shifting forward all the way down to the stomach. You can use this time to relax a little bit. And we're going to do a prone twist to sitting. So from this position, I'm going to take one leg, reach up, and push to a seated position. Try that on the other side. Rotate back to the center. So I use the leg first and then follow the leg. Come up, over, push to sitting. Let's go back to the center and to the other side. So coming down, rotating around, coming back, other side, lift, rotate, push. So I have the same arm and same leg out. I'm going to point the toe, come to a 3-point bridge. Pressing through my one foot and the opposite hand, reaching up and back. Again, engaging away from the floor. Very similar to a side plank here. And slowly all the way down. Rotating back to our prone. And to the other side. So I lift, turn, follow the leg over, pushing up. So I have one leg out and the same arm back. So I'm going to press through this foot and the opposite hand to come up into that 3-point bridge. All the way down. Move this foot in. Engage the hands with the floor. So we're going to do a swing set. I'm going to point the fingertips outwards and have the hands behind the body slightly and maybe wider than shoulder width apart. To start with, just to set up the position, I'm going to lift my lift my hips up and move closer to the heels just to get used to the weight over the shoulders. You can just do this, out and back. If you have more space, we're going to lift the hips up, trying to squeeze your glutes together into a reverse bridge. And then press the hips back. I'm pushing into the floor, extend the legs, and up. Let's go 4 more. Notice I'm not dropping my head back. Last time, hold it here. Lift, 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 push the floor away. Press the hips back, same thing. Push, hold it here, push into the floor. And I'm gonna come up into a squat. Walk the hands forward into a squat, and we're all done. So thank you for joining me.